Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is your favorite leather craftsman, RD Muhammad, the leather cowboy, right here in Premier Leather Crafters in the dirty. So the dirty is where I lay my head. I thank you guys for following me. I thank you for all of the subscribers. We are now well over. We're pushing close to 2,000 subscribers following the channel. But I do this for you guys, just giving you all of the information that I have received over the years, and hopefully that it can propel you and your leather crafting to where you can do how you want to do and live the way you want to live. Hashtag fire your boss. If you guys use the hashtag fire your boss, it'll pull up all of my content as well as the t-shirt line to where you can go and get all of the motivational and inspirational shirts that you want. But the behind the hashtag fire your boss is you can't live the way that you want to live if you are working for somebody else and they only paying you what they want you to make. So let's get right off into this video. This is actually, and it's a funny story. This is actually the third time that I've tried to shoot this video, and for some reason or another, it has not recorded to where I can eventually post it. So Danny Mark Graff, who is one of the subscribers on the YouTube channel, he posted the comment that you guys see in the thumbnail, and he wanted the instructions or the pattern for the minimalist wallets that I was telling you guys from the other video about how you can take scrap material, scrap leather, and make a lot of money off of it. So, and I showed you guys my own personal minimalist wallets. Now, this is the one piece. So I'm going to give you the design, give you the measurements on how you can make the one piece. This is just how I love to carry mine. There's nothing wrong with the other ones, but I had some leftover Python that from another previous job that I used, and I was like, hey, look, let me change it up a little bit. You know, we as leather crafters, we always want to do something different for ourselves, because when we are making stuff and somebody sees it, then we can be like, well, this is a one of one, you know. So, but the only difference between mine and the other minimalist wallets is the slot, the finger slot for pushing up whatever card that you want to use. But Danny was particularly interested into the minimalist wallets, the two-piece. Now, these two-piece wallets are a great project. Scrap leather, you don't need a lot. And I'm going to give you guys the measurements on these so you can take these patterns down and you can use them, tool them however you want to tool them. But let me give you the value points into these minimalist wallets. One, they come with the RFID paper in between the leather. I'm going to take one apart. So in between the lining and the leather, there's RFID paper in here that protects the carrier from having their wallet scanned. Now, this is just a mouse. It's not a scanner. But you can buy those card readers from Amazon. Isn't that crazy? They sell the actual tool that the criminals use to scan your and steal your ID. Craziest thing I've ever heard. But you can buy those RFID scanners from Amazon. Now, I've only saw them in two places. Once when I was in Chicago, and the other time, if you've ever been to New Orleans, you guys know New Orleans keep coming up with some thievery, tomfoolery in New Orleans. Not to put down the whole entire city, but come on, New Orleans. Y'all know y'all come up with some ways to get people. And anytime that you're in a situation or a city or a gathering where there is a lot of people, you need the RFID protection in your pocket. You can be at a football game, college, high school, pros, it really doesn't matter. If that person has that scanner, this is not the era where people are pickpocketing anymore. All they have to do is just walk past you and scan your pocket. and they got all of your information from your cards. So value number one is in between the leather and the lining is RFID paper, which you guys can buy that from Tandy. Now, I don't know if there's any other website out there. All you probably have to do is just Google it. But you guys have followed me enough to know that I am a Tandy person. So what I would love for you to do is to email Tandy and say, hey, Premier Leathercrafters and the Leather Cowboy always plugs Tandy in. So Tandy, if you watching this or if you get wind or emails, y'all need to break me off something, something. You understand what I'm saying? But maybe you can get that RFID paper anywhere online. Just make sure that it is from a reputable company because you don't want to put that as a value into your products, whether you're making the minimalist wallets or regular wallets. You don't want to put that as a value into your product and then it doesn't protect the person. So make sure, that's why I say Tandy. I know I can get it from Tandy, but anywhere else I don't know of. I haven't even checked because I'm just a Tandy loyalist like that. You hear me, Tandy? But you can put that as an added feature. Two, Generation X and Generation Z, these young folks nowadays, they don't carry wallets like we used to do in the old school days. One, because these young kids, they don't even carry checkbooks. So they don't even carry checks. Everybody has the new bank debit card now, which is the form of a plastic, but they don't even carry checks. So nobody's carrying even your checkbook style wallets. Um, And most people don't even carry the bifolds or the trifold wallets anymore because we're not carrying pictures in our wallets. Like, back in the day when I was in school, that was the thing, man, for you to get a girl's picture and stick it in your wallet. Everything is all digital now. All of our pictures are on our phones. So nobody's carrying pictures anymore. So pretty much the society is transitioning over to minimalist wallets. Now you can go on the Amazon or Pinterest or Etsy and you can just type in minimalist wallets and you can see all of the variations of wallets that they're coming up with. I mean, they got more flavors on there than Kool-Aid right now. And I mean, I've seen them in the Kydex, I've seen them in the titanium, the metal. I mean, it's crazy. But the one advantage that we as leather crafters have over every other product that's out there on the market, we can personalize. This one here is a ostrich skinned minimalist wallet. And this one here is a tooled wallet. Now, these two are pretty much the same. Now, if you watch that video that I've done, knowing your tools and what your tools can do for you, you will see that the same tool created two different patterns, and that's two different wallets. The same tool. So if you really wanted to get jazzy with this, you can probably produce about 3 or 4 wallets all with one tool just by turning those tools different ways and different angles. I showed you guys in that video how to do that because when I was creating this one, I was really going for this pyramid shape. Let me turn this upside down. I was really going for this pyramid shape. But what I learned in trying to get the pyramid, it was creating this paramedic symbol over here that was strictly by accident. I wish that I can say that was on purpose, but it wasn't. I would be lying to you to tell you if I was. But it was all done by the small basket weave tool. And you can see with that basket weave tool, this is it. And all I done was connected the leg here to the legs here. And that's what I was trying to get, this triangle pyramid shape. But in doing so, it created this paramedic symbol, which was strictly by accident. So now, here it is, free game, added value. If you know someone who's an EMT or paramedics or in the fire department rescue, this is their symbol. So you might can sell that to say that's a whole different audience in the market there. And it's the same exact tool that did your traditional basket weave. Now, this stamping pattern here has been around in the leather industry forever. all the way back to the Al Stallman books. You can see this basket weave pattern is been around. Now you can change it to give you a third variation. You can just go straight up vertical, and then you can put that pattern in there. A fourth variation is to go it all the way horizontal. Another variation is to where you can come back and do, you'll stamp two this way and then put the legs to where it'll go this way and spread it out. And what you're creating here, instead of the triangle pattern, you'll be creating a rectangular pattern, which gives you your 5 all done with the same tool. Now, again, this video is going out to Danny Markgraf. Danny Markgraf was watching. He's a subscriber of the channel, and he was watching, and he asked me in the comments about the pattern. Now, originally, I thought that I had already did a video on the minimalist wallets. And after going through about 10 or 15 videos, I kind of gave up. I didn't see it. So I know, I know if I got burnt out after doing 10 of these. Let me check my mic to make sure that my mic is still on. After going through about 10 to 15 videos, I know if I was irritated and was giving up, I pretty much know that you guys were giving up too. So with that being said, what I want to do now is first get my mic hooked back up. What I want to do now is give you guys the pattern to this. Now, this is a very simple pattern. Whether you're using the 2-piece or the 1-piece like mine, it's still the same measurement. The only thing that you will add is an additional 1/2 inch for this rounded part to come all the way up. So that's the only difference in between these two pieces. Two separate pieces, one whole piece, and then the only adding onto the pattern is at 1/2 inch. And I'll get to that when I get ready to give you guys this information. Now, the only other material that you will have to purchase is the elastic. Now, this comes in, I only bought the 3/4. 3/4 is strong enough to keep the tension onto your minimalist wallet so none of your cards will fall out. Same as this. It's just 3 inches that we use, and that is enough to hold 15 cards, as well as the elastic band works as a money clip. Now, if you want to give a little more added value to these, you can actually go and purchase the money clip holders, the metal ones. They come in stainless steel at Tandy. I think you can get them for like $5 or $6, but that only increases the value of your minimalist wallets. So now I generally sell these on my website or at my store from $55 to $75, depending on if it has the money clip or the elastic. Now, the elastic, it's not to necessarily say that it's cheap, because you're talking about the duration and the security. And like this one here, this one has the elastic band on there. Now I'm going to try to hold one side of this and show you just how strong and tight this is. We're going to try to shake out anything, so you won't lose anything because that's pretty tight. And then as opposed to the money clip, to where you would just do a single fold on your cash and stick that up under the money clip, you can just hit it, fold that half in half once again. And let me angle this camera down. You can just fold that half in half again, and then your bills will go right up under there and it's secured. That's the compression of how we did this. Now, when I came up with the pattern for these, I came up with the pattern to hold 15 cards only, as well as you got a little bit of extra room for money if they want to put the money on there. But in the pocket, this feels great in the pocket. And then you can carry this in the front pocket, a jacket pocket, I mean, interior jacket pocket, and it's not bulky, and it's not easily for somebody to pull out. Unlike a wallet, especially if you're carrying it in the front pocket. it deters pickpocketers because they got to go into your front pocket. And that's a little bit different when somebody's reaching their hand in your front pocket as opposed to reaching in the back pocket. So, but it's also great. Again, the RFID paper. I can't talk about that stuff enough because that is a great value to have in these. So let me get to even in the one piece, the RFID paper is inside of this one liner, and the measurements on the elastic is still 3 inches. Now, these here, the elastic band, you can pick these up at Wally World, Joann's, Michael's, anywhere, any hobby craft store, Hobby Lobby, they have these. Wally World is going to be your cheapest one. Walmart is going to be the cheapest. 3/4 width is wide enough. I wouldn't go anything less than 3/4 because of that security feature that you have. It's going to be strong enough and tight enough to keep everything together. I just don't trust anything under that. Now, you can go 1 inch. Um, as far as the cosmetics, I think 1 inch would be too wide. But 3/4 is the perfect one that I've found, and I've been making these for years now. And they've done the job very well. The only thing that I would change is to add the money clip. Now, to do the money clip feature, you're still going to have to use the band, especially if you're using the 2-piece, because this keeps the cards intact. But the money clip will come over the backside of it. I mean, I don't think it's going to take any away from the looks because you're looking at the functionality and then the customization of the project. So, and you can pick up this. This comes 3/4 by 1 yard, and this was like $2.47. I think $1.47 might have been. It was $2 and under, somewhere around up in there. But you can make 10 out of this 1 yard. I mean, you can make 10 of these. So just say you're a beginner craft and you're starting out and you want to charge $15. You don't want to hit them all the way up for $55. You want to just do $15. $15 times 10 is $150 all day long, and you're not even breaking a sweat. And the great part about it is it's made out of scrap that's in your scrap box. Every crafter, all of us have a box or 2 or 3, depending on what kind of projects you're working on, full of scrap material. So you can turn these that scrap box into money. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't stress enough, do not throw away your leather. Get all of the money that you can get out of it until it's just and then even some leather, like I would say you can go probably 5 to 6. Even if you have, it's not the leather is scrap is not big enough to do projects like these. Literally, ladies and gentlemen, you can take your strap-in cutter, and if you got a piece, let's say this wide, it's an inch or 2 wide. If you got some 5 to 7 scraps left in there, take your strap-in cutter, set that strap-in cutter to about 3/16 of an inch, and cut you out some leather boot laces. It's crazy what you can do with scrap. And now they have real, not that Latigo lace. You got real, real cowhide laces. And 5 to 6, 4 to 5 is going to be I think, the ideal thickness. But you got some real cowhide boot laces that you don't have to worry about, like that Latigo stuff that'll break apart after a few attempts. But anyway, let's get right off into this, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not going to hold you long because this is just to give not just Danny the information, but all of you who are interested into the 2-piece minimalist wallets. So I'm going to give you my exact measurements, and you guys can take this and run with it. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the tooling and all of that kind of stuff because your creativity is your creativity. And again, I've given you guys enough videos, and you can watch any videos that you might have missed about how you can just do simple tooling work. Simple tooling work. Even if you don't want to do the tooling work, if you have any leftover hides, like if you got some leftover ostrich, now ostriches are pretty expensive. But you can also buy the ostrich print. You can buy the alligator print. You can buy the snake print. You can buy anything that's a print. Now, I'm going to give you guys a cheap way to make your own ostrich. And you're probably going to think this is going to be funny. But you can get you some 2 to 3 ounce leather and a little quart box of BBs. BBs, what we used to sell and what you used to buy for the little Daisy BB gun. Now, this is just the a way that I have seen it made. You'll wet that 2 to 3 ounce. I mean, actually, you'll soak that hide 2 to 3 ounces. You want it pretty soft. And then you create you a little box out of some 1x4s or 1x2s and just throw BBs, a handful of BBs, all into that little box. Put your leather piece down there while it's wet, and then take you a roller and roll right over the top of those BBs. Now, the BBs are going to simulate the leather bumps or the bumps in ostrich skin. This is where the feathers went. So when they plucked that ostrich, the feathers created these bumps. And now that's just an economical way to do it. And you'll do it to, hey, look, now if you want to get jazzy and space them out however you want to, just take you some clear Scotch tape. Just clear Scotch tape. Or you can do some packaging cellophane tape. So when you throw your BBs out, you take your packaging tape to hold your BBs in place. You just want that metal to pierce, not pierce the leather, but you want those BBs to raise the hide up to create that bump. Now you would need that roller in order to do that. And then the compression of the roller from the top side is going to create that little burnished look around the edge. See, leather crafting is deeper than what y'all think it is, and you can do a lot. This is why I love this craft, because you can manipulate leather to do a lot of things. I mean, you can wrap it around a pole and make it say hi to you if you take your time and work your craft. But let's get back to this real quick. So, Danny, this is for you, my friend, and I hope I'm not butchering your name, but I'm going to say Mark Graff. Danny Mark Graff 34. Thank you for following the page, man. I really like for you guys to comment, because you never know, I might do you a plug just like I'm doing for Danny, just to give you a quick shout out and for watching the show, watching the channel. But now let me angle this down. Well, I don't think I'm going to angle it down. I think I'm going to leave it right here. The measurements that you guys want to use to create those 2-piece minimalist wallets is 3.5. This is the length. 3.5 by 2.25, the width. 3.5 by 2.25. 3.5 by 2.25. Now, when you're creating these, your elastic band will go in the center. So make sure that you mark off the halfway point, because you're going to take the elastic and go in the center of that. And then that's what's going to put your tension around the middle part. Now, you don't want to go up top or at the bottom. You don't want to do that, because then it'll create an alligator effect to where your cards or your money might come out. So go right through the middle of it. Now, to put 2 bands, it won't hurt. I don't think it's necessary, because you can get away with the 1, but you can do 2 bands if you really just want that extra tightness in there. And then they work perfectly fine. I mean, these were great ideas. And you can do, depending on how much time you have, you can do anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20 a day. And that's just stamping quick, 1 color, put your band in, stitch them up together, and then boom. So if you're setting up like at a city festival or arts and crafts show, or even at a flea market, and you're trying to sell these, you can just fill up a little clear tote box and then just throw you a sign out there and it says $15 a piece. Now, of course, your specialty pieces, your exotic prints, your crocodiles, your ostriches, your snakes. Quite naturally, you don't want to have those exposed and open out there on the table because you don't want that stuff to walk away. But you can also put them in just a separate box with a lid just to say, hey, look, I have some exotic prints, but they're a little bit more expensive. But again, simple mathematics. Even if you did the ostrich print or the crocodile print or the alligator print or the snake skin print, you still can move those for 25, 30 bucks a piece. Even on the fake stuff, 25, 30 bucks a piece. So just imagine if you had 10 or 20 of those out there. I mean, my goal, anytime that I go to a arts and crafts show or a city festival or a flea market, if I don't make at least $1,000 in that day, I've had a bad day. Nothing short of $750. I've had a bad day. As a crafter, you should have enough product and enough projects that you can showcase not just your skill set, but you don't want to waste your time and you done spent 8-10 hours at a city festival or arts and crafts show and you're only walking away with $100. That's just not that's not cohesive to my spirit for me to walk away with that, But again, I would shoot for nothing less. If you're going to make these little minimalist wallets, I wouldn't carry anything less than 50. 50. Now, if you're doing the exotic prints, I would carry a smaller number. Now, that smaller number is not to say that you can't make them. Well, look, again, make 50 of them, but only put 15 on the table. And just say, hey, look, these are exclusive. They're a little bit more expensive. Now, you can always reload when they walk off. But I wouldn't put anything more than 10 on the table. And then you can just restock. Blah, 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 But the tool ones, I mean, you can put 50 out there and just let them flip through them because all your cheap people are going to buy first. Now, you might have an occasional one that says you can always mention to everybody, well, hey, I do have some exotic minimalist wallets as well, but they're a little bit more expensive. That's already setting the precedent to your customer base. I have inexpensive projects or products, but I also have expensive products too, but I got to keep those on the reserve stash. Now, it also puts into the mind of your clients that, everybody can't afford these. These are a specialty item and there's only one or there's only a few that I've made. Now, remember why I told you guys in the video, if you do these 3 things, you can sell to anybody? If it solves a problem, which it does, it solves a problem. It's less size, take up space in the pocket. It's not irritating. You're not driving down the road one lump-sided because you got a big old thick wallet in your butt. So it solves a problem. Very easy to maintain. Carries your cash and your cards and your ID. Solves that problem. So that's one selling point. 2, it serves a purpose. The purpose is less hassle. And the purpose, it has RFID paper. Your local wallets from your department stores, even your high-end department stores like Neiman Marcus and Macy's and all of those, they don't have RFID paper in their wallets. See? Advantage. Now, third thing is if you sell to the ego. These are ego purchases. Everybody can't buy a python or an ostrich. So only those that want to do the ego, he want to walk around and says, oh yeah, that's python. Or yes, that's ostrich. These are the ones that will spend $55, $75 for these particular type pieces. So now, let's get back to this. the measurements once again. Danny, thank you for tuning in and watching the show. Actually, Danny, if you send me your email address, I'm going to do something special for you. Which, hey, see, that's why I love when you can live life on your own terms and do what you want to. You can do what you really want to. When you fire your boss, you can do what you want. So, Danny, if you send me your email address, I'm going to send